Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom. Right next to me, who do we got?
That would be Lucas.
Oh, and we are back and better than ever with Game Chat with Tom and Lucas. Welcome back, Lucas. It's good to see you, my friend. How we doing?
We're doing good. Happy to have a functioning laptop. I must say, going dark there was really, not having access, not a good time.
Yeah, no computer in this day and age is a hard kind of thing to manage. I'm not gonna lie. That seems a little difficult, needless to say. But I'm glad you're back. I'm glad we're back, and we're better than ever, folks. Because if you haven't heard, well, we haven't said anything about it yet,
No, nobody would
so
have heard.
nobody would have heard unless you've talked to us. But we are now going to be operating under the podcasting network umbrella of What Do You Mean Productions, which is owned and founded by a good friend of mine, Billy Mean. He's here with us today. He's helping produce our show. He's helping us really work on getting better and getting our stuff out there. So Billy, if you want to hop in, talk a little bit about yourself, give us a little blurb about, what YDWP is doing and how it's going to help us.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Bill. Like Tom said, I am the owner and founder of What Do You Mean Productions. So, what I do is I offer my podcast editing service to these two fine gentlemen here. We go over some creative stuff, we go over some scheduling stuff, we go over some template stuff. And yeah, I'm really excited to be working with the Game Chat crew. I think that this will be really fun. I myself am an avid gamer too. I also myself do a couple podcasts. So if you guys are interested in food, you should check out My Dad's a Chef. And if you like pro wrestling, check out Top of the Cage.
Both absolutely wonderful shows that our fine listeners here on this show should definitely check out now that we're operating all under the same family. And if I haven't said it before, once again, thank you, Billy, for taking us under your wing. We're very excited to work with you, and very excited for the future of what this will bring and how we can help each other grow. So once again, thank you for having us, my friend. So basically, we're back. We're better than ever. We're ready to go. We're recording right now. This should be pretty much a weekly show moving forward instead of bi-weekly like we had done before. We don't have a set date for dropping the episodes yet. That will be announced on our socials, mainly our Instagram. Follow at Game Chat Tom Lucas on Instagram, please. That is where we're going to be operating like before. We have a lot of plans moving forward. As you can see, you can now see us. So we're going to be operating in a video format moving forward. Eventually, we're going to get some pretty cool different things going where in a video format, we'll be able to post on YouTube, get it out to more different platforms, really dominate the internet, if I say so myself. Yeah, we're getting excited. We're ready to get back at it. And, without further ado, let's just dive right in, huh, Lucas? Let's get that pot pie. Let's get that pot pie going. Let's start with the puff pastry, my friend. What's been going on in your life? What you been up to?
What's been going on?
Yeah, what's been good? Tell the fine people what you've been doing.
I have, well, since acquiring a laptop, because that was kind of my main goal there for a while. I have, oh geez, I don't even know when the last one we did was. There might be a big update in store.
This was like summer of 2021, I think, was the last time we put something out. So it's been
my biggest update then in that case would be that I switched jobs. So I'm no longer doing online customer service. I am now working at an animal hospital and helping those furry little friends, get better. And it's just a lot more fun and less stressful, because I got to say, people just provide a lot more stress than things that can't talk. So that's been just good on my mental capacity, and I've really been enjoying it. And I now have a set schedule, so it's easier to do some podcast stuff, which is great.
What are you you're working at an animal hospital. What are you hoping to jump into later down the line? Any more like broad long-term goals that you got going on?
Aside from the podcast, you mean?
Aside from our production empire that we will be working with Billy to create. Once again, shout out.
Of course. So sort of a side hustle, if you will.
Yeah.
So my side hustle would be to probably go back to school to do this, but thinking of doing zoology, just studying those animals out in the field, preferably, be outside with the sun and the dirt, don't want to be strapped to a chair for 8 hours a day. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And this is just a good starting point to get some experience. I got to hold a rat yesterday, so that was pretty neat. Someone, just a pet rat. I don't know. I mean, someone thought that was cute, and he was well behaved enough. So, but I had to hold him for a shot, which he took like a champ. So, but that's just one of the things I'll run into at work. It's an exciting time.
I don't know how people keep rodents as pets, man. No shade to the rodents out there, but like, come on, rats be freaking me out, dog. I don't know if I'll ever get over that. But I'm glad that you're following your dreams, and I'm glad that you also have a more set schedule so we can fulfill both of our real dreams of becoming famous internet podcasters.
Yes, definitely a big upgrade in that department.
Facts. Well, same kind of stuff's been happening for me. Went home for Christmas and the holidays, had a ton of friends come up and visit last summer, because I guess that was the last time everybody heard from us. It was pretty nice. Lucas indeed got up here and experienced what Midwestern Minnesotan life was like for a while. So, I think he had a good time. I'd say most people who came to visit had a good time. So, I was thankful you could make it out here, Lucas. So thank you, sir.
Hey man, thanks for having me. It was a great old time. The sleeping arrangement was a little uncomfortable with that chair bed thing. Did a number on my back, but you know what? It was for like one night, so we got through it. But it was a good time.
Yeah, our cats kind of ruined my one cat killed both of our air mattresses. So it's okay. It's okay.
That's you're just gonna have to cat proof your house, man.
It's a never-ending battle, let's be real. But what you been playing lately, homie? What you been getting into? I know that me and you, not as often as I would like, but I know me and you have been running through some classic Halo campaign, Combat Evolved, through that good old Master Chief Collection. Shout out PC Game Pass for providing that title to us, and many others, just like Halo Infinite, which is a game I've been playing and absolutely killing it at. I'm working on ranking up. I really want to become whatever the highest rank in Halo is. I don't know. I've always been a PlayStation kid, so I don't really know what that looks like, but I've been slaying, and you're pretty good yourself whenever you get the chance to play with me, when you're not playing me and whipping my ass in Madden, which is the complete opposite end of the spectrum, because god damn, I thought I was okay at it, but you hand me my ass on a silver platter every time we play. I throw picks like every play.
It really is. I mean, what do coaches talk about? You got to win the turnover battle, and I think if you just fix that one issue.
Okay, Brandon and Charles.
Hey man, they get those points from somewhere. But yeah, no, that honestly, Madden has been fun, just in terms of us getting to hang out and chat. So hopefully we can continue that into the coming months. And then when I'm not playing multiplayer games with you, ladies and gentlemen, I did end up getting Anniversary Edition for Skyrim. I gave Todd Howard more money. I think this is my third purchase of the game.
Oh my God.
And I've just been playing that. And it's been a good time. I really am enjoying it, but haven't been able to play it as much as I'd like. Just due to time constraints. And that's not a game that you can just sit down for 20 minutes and play.
Oh yeah.
You really got to carve out some time. But that's really primarily what I've been playing. Not a very diverse game chart.
I mean, hey man, it's a classic title for a reason. Skyrim Mania, there's a reason you can play it on a toaster, like, and on Amazon Echo. Like, everybody loves that game.
That game is
me.
so well, that's a discussion for another time. But that game, someone made a joke because I was looking up spoiler, Bethesda's new release, which is coming out, Starfield, in one of the Bethesda
I'm gonna be checking
videos.
out Starfield.
They showed it's like a couple minutes of the video was just Skyrim stuff. So they're just, even in advertising other games, Bethesda's still just like, we're just going to show you as much footage of this game as we can. So I guess it's really their moneymaker.
Oh yeah. If one thing that I thought was pretty funny is back in December when they were when your boy Jeff Keighley was hosting the Game Awards, there was a Bethesda snippet where they were basically like, hey, come work for us because we need to essentially hire more people because we're running out of platforms to port Skyrim to.
That's a good problem
to
have.
That was very funny. I thought that was very, very funny.
I think you just gotta give Skyrim its props.
Yeah, someday maybe.
Someday soon, hopefully.
I don't know, man. I think it has enough props already. It's, again, you can literally play it on like a fridge. Skyrim doesn't need any more props from me. I've tried. I really have. I've put probably like 10 to 20 hours into that game, like multiple times, like really trying to see what the appeal is. And I don't know, man, Bethesda first person games just not for me. Never really liked the Elder Scrolls, never was a fan of Fallout. Dishonored is good, but it's not developed by Bethesda. But I don't know, just not for me. It's just not for me, man.
Maybe Starfield will be your cup of tea, but we'll get to that later in the show.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. That would be really cool. Starfield sounds really awesome, and I'll be trying it out just simply because I can get it on Game Pass. So the beauty of Game Pass, my friend. Yeah. And now you have access to it because you got a fancy new laptop that you can play games with me on. But yeah, glad to hear that's what you've been playing. I already talked about some of the things I was playing. One thing I do have to mention, ladies and gentlemen, is I finally, after 102 hours, completed 2018 God of War. And it is a masterpiece, as I was told by literally every outlet everywhere, by Lucas, by so many people. It's wonderful. We'll get back to God of War later on in this podcast, I'm sure. You see anything in gaming news lately that's been taking you by surprise, Lucas? Anything, any events, any news, any cool things you've been seeing?
Well, something I found pretty interesting, to say the least, is that drug smugglers are now using online video games to recruit people to transport drugs across state lines.
Elaborate, because I have not heard about this.
So they don't know too much about it. This is a pretty recent development, but the one example that the Department of Homeland Security provided was this one woman who unknowingly agreed to carry 127 pounds of liquid meth across the U.S.-Mexican border because someone on GTA Online was like, hey, can you just drive this car from this place to this place? It's full of electronics, which it was, in addition to the meth, but she didn't know about that. And so she was stopped, and there was just 127 pounds of meth in the gas tank. So they're like, yeah, parents, check that your kids are not talking to any bad people on the internet. So
What the hell?
yeah,
What?
pretty crazy stuff.
So like random person just approached other random person on like I've heard of like all the GTA like role play stuff that was big like a couple of months ago. A lot of streamers were doing that, but this is literally just some random person like being like, "Hey, where did she get the meth?"
No, so the meth was already in the car.
Oh, she was just like, "Come drive this car."
Right. Like take this car, which is full of meth, and move it to this location. But they didn't know there was meth in it.
That literally may be the most bizarre fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like that's
The internet's a crazy place.
That's so wild to me, man. I don't even know how to handle that. That's crazy. I was going to
I
talk
mean,
about the
straight.
Pokemon reviews. That's a way more interesting story.
Interesting. I feel that this is an important story here, Tom. We're trying to
I'd
fight drug
say that's
trafficking.
hard-hitting journalism, bro. I'm
You
telling
got to
you, man.
inform the people that, if someone asks you to move a car for them online, just open up that gas tank.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. You got all these people in the real world that are trying to invade the space that gamers occupy. You got people trafficking drugs. You got Travis Scott performing concerts in Fortnite. You got Ubisoft putting fucking NFTs in games. Enough of the NFTs, Lucas. Enough of the NFTs. And with that, might I say, there are, according to reviews, no NFTs in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is getting killer reviews. We're recording this literally the day before this game drops, and that's the thing I've seen in the news that is really hyping me up. I am 100% copping this game. Lucas, have you seen a lot of stuff about this game?
Like video footage? No. I don't have a Switch, Tom.
I guess that's fair. You're not really much of a Pokemon guy, really, either, are you?
I was into Pokemon Go for that one summer before college, and then that was kind of my clean break from the franchise.
Man, this game is apparently supposed to be really good. It's shaking up the classic formula in quite a numerous amount of ways. It's basically going for a full-on like 3D open world type vibe, similar to like the comparison that's made for every open world game these days is it's comparative to Zelda Breath of the Wild. But I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about it. I was getting very wary about this game the closer and closer it got to release, because I was like, I can't believe this game is coming out so soon. They only announced it. They like literally only announced it back in February of last year. So it's literally like this massive game and this massive reimagining of the series that they've been undertaking. The turnover has only been, it's been less than a year. So I was very skeptical the closer and closer it got to release. A lot of people, the things they're saying about it and complaining about is the graphical sort of issues that the game has. Apparently it pushes the Switch to its limits here and there, but other than that, gameplay wise, mechanically, I've heard nothing but good things. People giving it 8s, people giving it 9s. I'm very excited to play it. I'm very excited to see what it's about and really dive in. I think it'll be a good time, and it's just another reason for you to eventually cop a Switch, my friend, because you're missing out on some quality titles.
Are you gonna have this game tomorrow, opening day?
I should have it tomorrow. I don't know. Best Buy sent me an email that it might not be here until Saturday, though, but we'll see. The prices I have to pay to get physical media instead of just having it available for me in 3 hours. But that's okay. That's okay. because I still support physical media, and I also support the topic of the show that we're doing today. And what might that be, my friend?
You've been killing it with the transitions. My God.
I've been really trying to improve on them, dude. The segues, that's what really makes or breaks a podcast these days. Tell our audience about what we're going to be talking about today here in this episode of Game Chat.
Well, on our last episode that was lost due to the great laptop collapse of 2021, we were going to discuss our most anticipated games for last year. But since it is now 2022, we're going to be discussing our most anticipated games dropping this year. And that will be what the remainder of the podcast is centered around. What we're looking forward to, what we're excited about, or just things that we could be worried about that might be overhyped and maybe a little bit nervous before it comes out.
Oh, there's quite a few examples of those kinds of games on my list anyway. There's quite a few examples of games that they say it's going to come out this year. Probably won't, though, if I'm being real. But we'll get into that. I guess we'll jump right in. So to give you guys a little bit of an overview, we're gonna give you some info on each game we go through, have a little discussion on it, talk about who's making it, who's publishing it, where is it going to be available, when is it going to be available, kind of a little TLDR on what the game itself is, and then one thing that I would like to work in, because I don't know how we'll use it yet, but later down the line, I think we should definitely use this. I'd like us to predict what we think each game we talk about today will receive for a score on OpenCritic.com. And I choose OpenCritic instead of Metacritic because, well, to be honest, I don't really know off of the top of my head. It seems OpenCritic is literally designed, in the brief amount of research I did, literally designed to work around some of the complaints and issues that Metacritic has. And to be fair, I do recognize some of those complaints with that review aggregation site. It allows for a lot of things like review bombing. People post it, like Last of Us 2 is my big example that I like to go back to. A lot of people hadn't even played the game and they're already giving it negative reviews because certain things leaked, and people got pissed off about story choices that they shouldn't have got pissed off about. But we already covered that in a previous episode. Check us out on Spotify, Game Chat with Tom and Lucas. That is episode 0. If we give predictions for what our scores are, I'm sure we can keep track of them and refer back to them later. And maybe we'll make a little game out of it, gamify this a little bit, make some wagers, if you will. But what that will look like will come in the future. Right now, we're going to dive right in. And I'm going to start with what I know for sure is on both of our lists, with the very, very highly anticipated title developed by Santa Monica Studios, published by PlayStation Studios themselves, ladies and gentlemen. It is God of War Ragnarok. Lucas, tell me why you're hyped about this game, because I know it's on your list. I don't even have to look.
That is true. It is on my list. Well, this is one of those games that don't want to get too excited for, because it might not drop this year. There is no confirmed date. It was originally supposed to come out sometime 2021, got pushed back. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back again, but assuming it does come out this year, all we have so far on it is the trailer, which included some interesting elements to the story, which we should get in the sequel here. So no real gameplay, like heavy gameplay footage yet, but just for the story alone, they could make very minor alterations to the gameplay for this. I'm really excited for the story and where they're gonna pick up off with where they ended off.
My question for you is, you don't care if they could just have the same gameplay? It doesn't matter to you, as you just want to know what happens?
I think, well, from what is in the trailer, they've clearly made changes. I'm saying I don't need to see like drastic like changes from the original formula. Like as long as they're adding on to stuff they've done, I think they could get by with that. I think like the story itself has like so much potential of where they could take it. So that's what I'm like most excited for, just to see like how this, because they already confirmed like this is, it's not going to be a trilogy. Like this is where this story is going to conclude with this game.
My I guess not minor, but in case you haven't played it, major spoilers for 2018's God of War. I agree in terms of the story. I'm very excited to see where they go with it. I was blown away at the end when my boy revealed he was Loki. That was wild to me. Very excited to see where they go. Very excited to see some of the realms that I couldn't get access to in the last game, such as Svartalfheim, the land of the dwarves. And also, I really want to go to Vanaheim because, you know, we all know I'm a fan of the Marvel films. We all know Norse mythology has been very popularized by said Marvel films. We all have an idea of what Thor looks like and what Asgard looks like and what the golden palaces where they feast endlessly looks like. Feast and fight and fuck. I want to see more about the Vanir gods. I want to see where my girl Freya is from. I want to hopefully see something about her mysterious brother Freyr, who is apparently a good friend of the elves. I want all the smoke, baby. I want to know. And I'm ready to see Atreus give some smack talk, give some lip service to our boy Kratos, because you know he's going to be older in this game. He's going to be, you know, a more experienced hunter, a more worldly boy. He's still a boy. He's more of a teenage boy though now. But yeah, I'd have to agree. My biggest concern is that it won't come out this year. I'm very convinced this game's going to get pushed.
Let's hope not, because I don't know how much longer I can wait.
Yeah, I was so surprised just by how quickly I was like dismayed after finishing the game, where I was like, oh wow, like I'm in this now. Like I am in this world and I want more, and it needs to be here now. Because like holy crap, this game was top notch across the board. And that's kind of what is worrying. And I know we talked about this a little bit already, but that is like severely one of the things that's worrying me. And in some interviews, like the only thing I've really seen about changing up the gameplay itself from what the past game was is, you know, obviously combat is the biggest thing they can work with in terms of wiggle room in this game. But I think that like I saw a lot of talk about how traversal with the blades is going to be a thing, kind of what you see in the new trailer, where he like yeets his blades up to a ledge and then pulls himself up there. And then I know the shields that Kratos uses is going to be a lot more of a heavy factor going into this game, which to me I was a little disappointed. Like you couldn't, you know, you had weapons, you had armor, but like the shield was the one thing you really like, it did nothing. And I always thought that was weird because you could equip different shields. I don't know how I got different shields.
That was, you got that at the pre-order. Like I didn't have those when I got like my PlayStation 5.
I didn't pre-order that game. That's my thing. Maybe I just downloaded some thing off of the PlayStation store, but the only reason I owned this game was because I pre-ordered 2018 Spider-Man from Walmart, and I got that day one. And then like a week later, a second copy of Spider-Man showed up in my mailbox, and I don't know why. Some Walmart error, but I traded online my second copy of Spider-Man for a copy of God of War. So I don't know how I got all the extra like different shields.
Like pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because you would have gotten their copy.
Yeah, I know. It always very weird to me, but that's one we're both excited, folks. If you couldn't tell, we could talk for hours about this. I still think we should go back and do a God of War retrospective eventually when we get around to it. But
Well, we're gonna have some time if they push it back again.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I'll have time to New Game Plus it, which I'm doing regardless of if they push it back or not, because there'll definitely be time for that. I can get through that game really fast now.
I guess I could New Game Plus it, but I'd just butt rush through the story. I wouldn't like bother with. I would probably put in like 30 hours versus 102. Did you do the PlayStation wrap up thing? Did you see that? It's sort of like Spotify wrapped, but for PlayStation.
No.
Oh, you should do that when you get a chance. You just put in your PSN and it gives you a ton of stats based off of the past year. And like my top 5 games were the PS4 remake of Ratchet and Clank, the new Ratchet and Clank, Spidey Miles Morales, Madden, and those were all hovering around the like 30 to 40 hours playtime area. And then God of War is my top one with 100 plus. So that game's lit, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely go check it out. They recently dropped it on Steam, and I hear it is a masterpiece of a PC port. So make games available to more people at all times. I know that was on both of our lists, so I had to lead off with it. But what else you got on your list? Tell me. What are you excited for?
What else do I have? Well, I actually thought you were going to open with this, but I think it was recently voted the most anticipated game, so we had to mention it. But that is going to be Elden Ring, which is dropping almost a month to the day away. It's coming out on the 25th of February. So it's getting close.
That is another game I'm like incredibly surprised is like actually coming out in a month. Like that's nuts to me that this game is actually coming. I don't know. Tell me more about it.
Well, as everyone hopefully knows by now, From Software is the developer since they did Dark Souls, and this is Dark Souls plus Mr. George R.R. Martin is putting his spin on the storyline here. So that combo, I mean, just by itself, if that doesn't get you hyped, then I don't know what will. But that is where we're going with this. And they dropped the network test back in November. So there were just hours and hours of like content you could watch on that. I peeped some stuff back when it came out, and it looked great, and the gameplay looked really interesting. And that was just like the opening like area that really was available to players. So that was really just a small sample size, but I personally think if you're doing a network test and you're allowing people that kind of early access, that there's clearly a confidence level in your product if you're dropping that like 4 months ahead of time. So that's very promising. That's definitely, I think, of the games we'll have on this list, I feel like that's almost like I'd actually, recommend people pre-order that. And I know that certain games have been kind of rough in that regard, where you think you're getting something and it's not quite that. Fallout 76 was sort of in that genre. So, I mean, hopefully Bethesda rebounds with Starfield, but definitely a bad taste from that fiasco. But I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't played Dark Souls myself, so this is kind of going to be my intro to that format. And I just hope, I don't know, I hope it's not too hard of a time, but I have heard, that it's like those games are a struggle. So I'm kind of getting mentally prepared to get my shit handed to me a couple times.
Listen, all I'm saying is you've beaten God of War on the Give Me God of War difficulties more times than I can count. So you're good in that department, in the difficulty department. I think you're going to be fine. I couldn't agree more with all the stuff you're saying. That it looks very cool. I did check out like a little bit of gameplay from the network test. It's a weird thing with me. I've never really been a fan of the Dark Souls proper games, if you will, just because aesthetically it's never been appealing to me, like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. And I know this isn't like too crazy different from kind of what Dark Souls looks like, but it it is more high fantasy, and the gameplay to me looks more akin to what a Jedi Fallen Order or a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice looks like. You know, it looks a little bit faster paced. You know, you look like you just don't look like you weigh 800 pounds and every step you take is like I don't know. I've never vibed with that with the like Souls proper games, but I don't know. I like hard games. I like cool things. Like I'm looking at some of the B-roll right now. He just conjured up a bunch of like ethereal goblins to fight like soldiers and stuff. You know, he's rocking with a bow and a bow staff. I don't know. It looks really cool. You know, I support George R. R. Martin. I really liked Game of Thrones, as did most people on the planet. So I don't know how much better you can get from there, you know. And it's certainly coming. It's certainly gonna pop out next month. This game is not getting delayed. It's here, and I'm ready for it. And I hope the world is, because I think it's gonna take it by storm a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Are you planning, because it is coming out? It's coming out for everything aside from Switch. But are you thinking you're going to get it on PC or PlayStation?
I don't know. So my PC is pretty much almost exclusively like my multiplayer machine at this point. I play a lot of first person shooters on it. I just like, man, I love my PS5, dude. That thing's awesome. Like, so who knows? Everything's optimized very well on that machine. So this one would probably be a PS5 if I had to guess. Like there's multiplayer in it similar to other Dark Souls games, kind of the drop in, drop out. Like you can find other players like in real time, just like walking around the world, and they can like join up with you and stuff like that. So there is a multiplayer aspect, but it's not, you know, like traditional like load up a match with people in a party in a lobby type system, from what I can tell. But you know, I'm excited for it, so I'll probably PS5 that one. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. What are you thinking? What are you thinking this will get for review scores? What are you thinking? Which I know we didn't say God of War, but that's gonna get as close to, that's gonna be as close to 100 as it can be. I only predict God of War currently the 2018 one is at a 94.
I'm thinking 95 for the sequel.
I think it'll be like a 92 because I don't think the gameplay will differ enough, but it's going to be in the 90s. Easy. What do you think about Elden Ring though? What would you have to give it?
So I'm thinking I think it's going to be in the 90s for sure, but I think it's going to be on the low end. I think it's going to be a 90. And I don't think this is one of those games where I don't think the score is actually going to reflect the quality of the game. I think people are going to be so hyped up for it that they're just going to have like too high of expectations. And if it doesn't deliver on like pretty much everything that they've thought up for themselves, it's going to hurt it a little bit. But I still think that it'll be high enough to be in that 90 range. So I'm thinking 90. It'll probably be worth more, but like I said, those expectations might drive it down a smidge, but it's still going to be highly rated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd probably put it a little lower because like I feel like the 90s are really for those like masterpiece.
And so this is supposed to be though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be that, but that's just me. Just me. I'd probably put this at a solid 86.
Oh my!
What I'm gonna give it.
Oh my goodness!
You know, that's what my call is.
Okay.
That's what my call is. I'd probably have to see like what does Bloodborne have on OpenCritic? Because Bloodborne is kind of like the pillar for those games. Oh, Bloodborne's got a 91. I'm sticking with my 86.
You gotta throw in. It's the Game of Thrones factor, dude. It's gonna drive
Yeah,
it
but
up.
that doesn't. As much as the planet loved Game of Thrones, the planet also hated the ending of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but that wasn't on Mr. Martin. That
No,
wasn't his fault.
Mr. Martin hasn't ended Game of Thrones yet because he's gonna die before it ever happens and before he ever finishes the next book.
He was busy with Elden Ring. You know, he can only multitask so much.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It should be good, but not as excited as I am for this next game we're going to talk about. A little ditty called Little Devil Inside. Now, this game, folks, looks absolutely incredible to me. It is a it's a single player game. It will include some online co-op, similar to the kind of stuff we were talking about with Elden Ring, but it's specifically a timed PlayStation exclusive. I can't remember the exact period of time that the exclusivity will be. However, after it's done being exclusive on PlayStation, there will be a PC port almost immediately. And then the developers have talked about wanting to get a Switch and an Xbox port out there as well. And this game is developed and published by NeoStream Interactive. And it's been around for quite a while. It's been, despite only being really sort of like announced, within the last year or so. This is the studio's first game that they're making and publishing. And back in April of 2015, they announced it via a Kickstarter campaign. And they said it was going to drop in fall of the following year. That Kickstarter campaign made a ton of money. And due to an increase in scope, the developers said, like, hey, we got a lot more support than we initially thought we would. So around December of 2017, they dropped another trailer for the game saying that this will release late the following year, which would be 2018. And that date came and went with next to nothing heard from the developers. And the next time it was heard from was, in fact, 2 years ago at this point. What is time anymore? At the PS5 reveal event, it was shown again, and saying that back in June of 2020, it was announced along with the announcement of the PlayStation 5. And since then, they had a state of play back in October of last year, which gave a much more in-depth look at this game. And oh, might I say, this game looks cool. I'm very excited for it. It looks incredibly charming, to say the least. You have a solid mix of overworld map travel and aesthetics, along with, your more sort of traditional, like, third person action adventure puzzle solving type gameplay. I'm trying to see right here. Yeah, it's like an action adventure RPG that the developers have described as having some survival type elements. So in the more in-depth look during the state of play, they said this game was going to feature a lot of different environments and different biomes where the main character Billy, funny enough, has to survive and make his way through it. And I don't know, man. Everything I've seen from this game looks cool. It looks unique. It looks original. The art style is super cute. He has a shield that literally looks like a teeny little Lego brick. And when it zooms out to the overworld, like, that seems to be what the main back and forth of the game will be, is this overworld map travel where you look like these teeny little, like, Russian Matryoshka dolls, like, trudging through the environments, and then you'll zoom into different vignettes and combat sequences and puzzles and challenges where you'll see the characters in their full model, for lack of a better term, do your different things, what have you. It says it's supposed to come out this winter. We'll see what happens. I'm really hoping it does, because my god, this game looks cool. I don't know what else to say about it other than you fight crazy, creepy monsters. You're this tiny little dude with a sword, and it looks just charming, just super charming. Lucas, you got any thoughts about Little Devil Inside?
Well, let me ask you. I don't know if you said it already, but is this something you would get on Switch personally,
No,
or a different
no,
platform?
PS5.
PS5 still. Okay.
It's going to be a PS5 exclusive for a good bit. Slash
Oh,
PS4.
initially.
Yeah.
Oh, because Game Informer had it listed as everything, but it's one of those timed exclusivity deals, which was throwback to one of our original episodes.
Big ups to PlayStation for all the timed exclusives. They're going to need it with all this Microsoft Activision stuff, but that's a different story.
Oh yeah, this looks okay. I like the art design for this.
That's what I'm saying. It looks so cute. It looks so cute. I'm very intrigued about it. And like even the combat looks like particularly like not light. It looks pretty satisfying and it looks intricate enough where it's not going to like, it looks hack and slash to a degree, but not to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be pressing square for 20 minutes every time I zoom in on the guy. It looks like it has some depth. Any thoughts on it? You haven't looked too much into this one?
No, this is the first I've even heard of it. But this is looking. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see the combo. What you're talking about. Wow. Oh man. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I'm all about those like weird, quirky games that kind of come out of nowhere and like you wouldn't expect to play. Plus, like if I had to be real, I bet this game is a $40 release and it's probably maximum like a 30-hour endeavor, which as I grow further and further into adulthood, games that I can have a wonderful experience in a smaller amount of time is certainly what I'm looking for. If I had to give an OpenCritic score right now from what I've seen off of it, I'd throw it like an 85.
Bro.
Yeah. That's like a B plus, A minus type range. That's what I'm looking at for this guy.
I can't believe you're going to give this basically the same rating as Elden Ring.
Yeah, dude. I think it's like it's a complete different, it's a different kind of game. I don't know. It's like it's a very indie darling looking game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's one of my most hyped games coming this next year. I'm very excited to try it. I can't speak more about it because they haven't really shown us too much more about it. But I'm excited for survival elements. I'm excited to try out different weapons, and these environments that they're doing just look beautiful. That's what's so weird to me is all the character designs and character models are very not like chibi to a degree, but cute and artsy, whereas the surrounding environments that these characters are taking place in is like incredibly detailed and mapped out. Like they go from a desert to the snowy mountains to the plains, like, and all of them look hyper realistic, which is a beautiful contrast to what the actual creatures and characters within the game look like. So I'm very intrigued to see what that one's going to be like. What do you think? Any final thoughts on this one now that you're seeing it?
Well, yeah, from the brief little video here, and then your endearing words, definitely looks promising. I'm not super in the realm of indie games, but this is something that I might pick up. I'm not sure. I would definitely like, if you're getting a PS5, I would definitely like watch. Like if you're going to screen share it, I would definitely take a look at it.
You'll be able
for
to play. You'll be able to play with me via the co-op elements.
Oh man, we got to add that to the co-op games list.
Absolutely. Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah, man. What do you got? What do you got for your next one? Let's keep going.
Next one for me is going to be Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is coming out a month to the day after Elden Ring. So that's going to be March 25th.
Speaking of co-op games.
Speaking of co-op games, yes, we got the spinoff of, and I realize now what that thing was that you sent me, the Dragon Keep, which is going to be actually free on PlayStation Plus next month, which is just genius marketing by Gearbox and 2K to make that free the month before this drops. But yeah, we're talking D&D medieval Borderlands, and just from what I've seen, they've shown the classes, and you have like a mage, like a berserker type, like Viking dude, like an assassin is the other one, and then the fourth one is like this. They basically took like Thor's hammer, and we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna make it bigger and give it to this person, and have a dragon follow around. I don't know how the dragon relates, but that's what they're going with for the classes. But so that's pretty interesting. I thought Borderlands 3 had really interesting characters, classes, and how they were different from each other. So it seems that they have the nice variation for this as well. Also, the cast in this one is pretty cool. Will Arnett is the main antagonist, which is going to be interesting.
No way, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I
you have
should
it
have
muted.
known
He's
that.
talking right now. Like he talks at the beginning of this trailer.
Right,
But
right. I feel like I should have known that, but like
and
I
that's Andy
totally didn't.
Samberg as Valentine. So yeah, they got some big names for the voicing here, but the environments look pretty cool, and just from the gameplay itself looks like really, like, I don't know, like just really, it's really well done.
It just looks like Borderlands plus more. You know, like it looks like people have magic abilities, different melee. I know you can melee in Borderlands, but a lot
This
of
is a focus. Like two of the classes are specifically focused on like up close and personal,
mage based or melee stuff like that. So
yeah.
it looks like the variation is there. I mean, it has to be if they're making their own spin-off game for it, right? But like I'm excited to see what the storyline will be like. You know, this seems particularly detached. Like I feel like Borderlands has always been great at telling a good story and injecting quite a lot of humor into it. And, you know, in a D&D format, there's endless possibility for that. And that's the whole thing, is like you're playing as these characters, and Tiny Tina is the dungeon master. Like there's even these sections where, similar to what we saw with Little Devil Inside, it looks like they're, you know, on some like overworld type stuff, like where you're walking around in a map and things like that. So I'm very interested to see what that's like. The one thing they looked like they showed was, you know, your characters walking around the map, and they're like, Tina, you left a cheese curl on the board. And they're like, no, that's the magical log of azimuth, and it like rises up from the board as she just eats it and stuff. You know, it looks like it's very engaging. And I don't know if you have ever played D&D or not, but like that kind of stuff, right up my alley. So I'm very excited for this one as well.
So I have no D&D experience, so this will be kind of my introduction. I'm familiar with like the concept, but that's something I'm interested in, where see how they incorporate that like tabletop down part of the game, like into the third person or first person rather, like shooter element, and how those are intertwined. Because I am hoping that that's not a significant part, but definitely playing a factor, since it is like, you know, you got to have the D&D part if it's going to be kind of pulling from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, what do you think this will get for a score, you think?
So I'm thinking it's probably like mid 80s, just because I think the one drawback potential for this game is if people are like, oh, it's not pulling enough from the old formula. Because I know Borderlands 3 was kind of had that critique where it's like, like it's too similar to the previous. That was the first Borderlands I played. So to me, it was all new and really fun. But I guess for longtime fans,
which by the way, we're still playing.
We're not gonna.
We should just abandon them. We should just abandon them and play through it, us two. Like, not even lying. Sorry to my two
No.
blood dear brothers
Cutting off your kin
that I love, Trevor, Travis. You guys have impossible schedules. It's really you, Trevor. I'm blaming you. Look at me. Look at me, Trevor Hubbard.
Oh man.
If you watch this, your fault that we're abandoning you. Blaming you right here, right now. Your fault.
Well, Tom, you might not want to cut those ties because we are going to need. We're probably going to need them to co-op Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
No, we could just play it us two, or get like two
The
other
more the
people
merrier. Oh
who
wow,
will,
you're just
like,
going to replace them off the
actually play.
roster. All right. Well, to anyone listening, if you want to play co-op Wonderlands with us, let us know. First come, first serve. I guess that's how Tom's running this.
I want people who can play on a dedicated night. Like, I'm busy. I get it. But we got to prioritize the games. We got to prioritize the games. And nobody prioritizes the games, Lucas. Everyone's like, oh, no. My friend asked me if I could go get a slice of pizza. So I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza instead of the same day we play every single week. And no one's prioritizing the games except me and you, of course. And Travis. I'll give it to Travis. He's always trying to play. Shout out Travis. Trevor, fight me.
Wow. That's the first roast I think we've had on the podcast that was directed at a person specifically.
Tiny Tina. 84 OpenCritic. That's my call.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say 85.
Okay.
I could see it being higher if it really is like straying from the old stuff.
I mean, I hope it gets a higher score, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. That one looks really good. I'm excited. Me and you should definitely play the Assault on Dragon Keep now that it's going to be free within a couple of days.
Again, so genius marketing.
Oh, I mean, it's perfect. PlayStation Plus is good like that. They'll do that kind of stuff for quite a lot of games, just to like bump up the release of a newer game.
Anticipation.
Oh yeah.
What's next on your docket there, sir?
Oh, see, my docket's huge, right? I have quite a lot of games. Most of them are single player. You kind of tossed out a co-op one, so I think I'll do it in a similar vein right here. But I'm going to talk about a little game I like to call, or I guess I don't like to call it.
The name of the game.
The name of the game is called Multiverses. So if you know me whatsoever, you know that I am a huge Super Smash Brothers fan. Always have been, always will be. I still try to play that game at least once a week, especially after they dropped my boy Sora in there. Thank you, Sakurai. But this game is a free-to-play Warner Brothers it's like Smash Bros for Warner Brothers properties, right? So I got the link, I got the B-roll going up right now, but it's essentially, and they haven't talked too much about it because they only announced it kind of recently. They announced it a little while ago, back in November. It's made by Player First Games, published by Warner Bros. It's going to be on pretty much every platform except Switch. It says it's a 2022 release date. It will be free to play though. And you can sign up for, I believe, the alpha test right now. But it's essentially just Smash with Warner Brothers characters, ranging from wonderful franchises like DC Comics. So, you got your Batman, you got your Superman, you got your Wonder Woman, to Cartoon Network. So you got people like Finn and Jake and Steven Universe, to, your classic Warner Brothers properties like Bugs Bunny, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, all the way to friggin' Arya Stark is in this game from Game of Thrones, voiced by Maisie Williams. It's insane. It's like they took that Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, right? Which is like what I thought was going to be like the next big Smash game that wasn't Smash, but this is looking a lot more tight. It's free to play. It has a lot bigger breadth of properties, and it has voice acting, which is a thing a lot of fans severely miss from the Nickelodeon game. And they're doing like a weird, they haven't elaborated too much on it, but it seems team based in that every, like, you're always playing in a team of two against others. So I'm excited to see what that's about. I signed up for the pre-release alpha whatever test. I really hope to play it. I'm pretty sure I signed up for it on PC, but it's going to be totally cross-platform. So it's going to be accessible to everyone and anyone. And frankly, I just can't wait to stab Batman as Finn the Human. Like, I want to play as Finn and Jake in Arya. Oh, and Shaggy's in it. I totally forgot.
Well, if you said
Shaggy's
Scooby-Doo is in it, I would only assume.
Yeah, that you're right. But like Shaggy, like all the memes of Shaggy in Smash seem to be like they are putting it in this game. They're literally just making Shaggy like a Super Saiyan. That's what all his.
It wouldn't
like,
surprise me
movesets.
if that like joke was like, let's make a game around this. And we'll
I
just
literally
we'll just do
like
all Warner Brothers properties.
it wouldn't even surprise me. And they've got different skins they're gonna it just like it looks like they're taking the route that I wish the Nickelodeon game took. Bugs Bunny's in there. They've got their own original character called Rain Dog,
Okay.
which I don't know what that is. I really don't. If anybody has the scoop on Rain Dog, please drop a comment on our Instagram. Tell us more about this strange creature that is known as Rain Dog. But I'm real excited for it, man. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
When
I
is,
give this game a solid 78 on OpenCritic, because again, it is a Smash clone, so it's never going to be able to live up to. Maybe it will. Maybe I'm wrong. It's never going to be able to live up to Smash, because Smash Ultimate is the epitome of this. What would you even call it? Like an arena fighter? Like
Probably.
I don't even really know what this genre of like fighting game is called per se, but Smash Ultimate got a 92 on OpenCritic. I believe the Nicktoons All-Star Brawl is what it's called. Nicktoons All-Star Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl has a 65. Yeah. So I'm throwing this one right in the middle. I'm gonna say Multiverses will get a 76 on OpenCritic.
Okay.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts before we jump on to the next game? I know I kind of took up the majority of that one, but
That's
what do you think?
that's fine. Again, I hadn't even known that was gonna be a thing. Is there a release date for that, or it's just pending 2022 at some point?
Just pending 2022.
Okay.
From the footage they've shown, I think it will drop this year. If I had to guess, it'll probably be in like a Q3, Q4 holiday type thing. They haven't really said when the network test is going to be, so we'll see. But yeah.
Okay. No, that looks I mean, the team aspect, if that is a focus, is definitely an interesting element. Just because I feel like regular Smash didn't have a ton of like not a lot of incentive to do like online co-op. So that definitely could separate them from Smash a little bit. So maybe but I mean, yeah, definitely looked promising just from the movesets that were being shown and whatnot. So again, another solid choice, my friend. Really promising stuff.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What you got next on the docket?
Next on the docket for what we have here is, oh yes, the game I teased at the beginning, So that would be the one and only Starfield, which is I'm nervous for, not gonna lie. But let me hit the people with the info first. So being that Bethesda is now Microsoft owned, this is going to be available on PC and Xbox, both the X and the S. And this does have a release date. It's going to be later the year. For those fans of Skyrim, you'll be familiar with this date, but that is going to be coming out on November 11th. So that's when it's dropping. I'm nervous for this, Tom. I'm not gonna lie. Anticipation's high, but there's their gameplay trailer that dropped a couple months ago was like not very gameplay infused. So I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm sure we'll get more stuff in the coming months since it is a ways away compared to the other games we've discussed. But there's a lot of speculation at this point, and we just don't have a ton in terms of what you'll actually be able to do. But I mean, it's, quote unquote Skyrim in space is what's being called. So again, that has high potential for being good. But like I said, I'm pretty nervous. I feel like this could get a lower score than everything else we've discussed so far if it doesn't live up to expectations.
Wow. Not a lot of hype. Not a lot of hype there, I see.
Well, there's hype. It's just I don't know if this is going to meet the hype because we just don't have a lot to go off of right now. I think if we discuss this a couple months from now, as we're close to that November timeframe, there'll be more like is it E3? What's coming out in April? And that's PAX East. My bad. They're not going to release that then. But
E3 is usually during the summer, but
right, June.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I would assume at the latest that's when we would get like actual like gameplay footage. That's more than like a couple seconds at a time. So at that point, I think we could actually make a better call on it. But right now, like I don't know. I'm really just that Fallout 76 was just like so disastrous. So I feel like there's big pressure of them to rebound. So I feel like they're likely to do so. Just you can't really have two crappy releases in a row. So that would just be that. I'm sure the heads at Microsoft are like, we just purchased you guys for a buttload of money. So this needs to really be top notch.
Now, is this game Bethesda developed as well? This is like a first party Bethesda game, right?
Oh yeah, the developer is Bethesda Game Studios, and then the publisher is Bethesda Softworks.
Okay, that's what I thought.
This is legit Bethesda.
Yeah, we'll see. I look forward to seeing what they got to show about this game, just because I agree they've shown next to nothing. I kind of like the setting they're going for. Space is cool, but I'm right with you. I don't really have much else to say on it, just because there hasn't been much of anything shown on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. OpenCritic 63.
Yeah, I feel like I could either it's gonna be like 60s or it's gonna be like 80s.
What camp are you riding in, bro? You gotta give a definitive answer here.
If I had to say today, I think 60s, just because there's not, I can't give it the benefit of the doubt when there's really nothing yet to go off of. So, again, that like one video that where Bethesda, like Todd Howard and the producers were talking about the game, they showed more footage of Skyrim than the Starfield game. So I don't know, a little bit nervous. We'll see though. Well, again, in a couple months' time, hopefully we'll have some more info.
That's fair. Speaking of being a little nervous about a game, the last one I'm going to talk about today, in depth, is a little ditty that is known as Forspoken. This game is coming soon. It has a release date. This game is coming May 24th of this year, and it is developed by Luminous Production and published by Square Enix. It will be a PS5 timed exclusive for 2 years, I believe, and then follow up with a PC release. You know, so this game was initially revealed at that PS5 reveal showcase, which was back in, I believe, of June of 2020, something around there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, June of 2020. But this game was announced there, and it was announced as Project Athia, which they've now come to say is the, I believe, the name of the land the main character gets transported to. But essentially, a little bit later on at a Square Enix Presents event held in March of last year, they officially announced that it would be called Forspoken. And frankly, like, I've just been very excited for this game. It looks awesome. I was very, very excited the first time I saw it. You know, you just have this. I've got some gameplay rolling right now. You essentially just you play as this woman whose her name is escaping me, who is, you know, a normal, like, looks like young mid-20s woman who lives in New York, who then gets basically transported into this magical world called Athia. And then, you know, she gets these powers, these abilities, and she has to do a whole thing. The reason I'm excited for it is the team behind it, the people working on writing this game, are top notch. You've got Gary Whitta, who is known for his work. He helped write Star Wars Rogue One, and he's a huge writer within the media industry, specifically Star Wars. He's basically worked on every type of media platform that Star Wars has been on, except a video game at this point. He's also a co-host of the Kind of Funny Xcast. I'm a big fan of this guy. He's an angry British dude, really funny. Check him out on Twitter. Follow him if you don't. He's a great follow. But he's writing it along with Amy Hennig, who is known for her work at Naughty Dog. She's been very involved with the Uncharted series and writing those. And she also Jack and Daxter as well. She is literally has been called one of the most influential women in the games industry. She most recently had a Star Wars project in development over at EA, and then it got canceled. I don't think it's Star Wars 1313 that she was working on, but anyway. So those two are two of the like best writers you can have out there working on this game's story. And then your boy Bear McCreary who did all the music for God of War, is doing all the music for this game as well. So it should be good. Everything I had seen in trailers looked really good for this game. They released some gameplay footage. It made me a little wary. All the stuff I had seen in the trailers previous to like a full gameplay reveal, which I'm showing now, had kind of been like, it blew me away. She's moving around, she's throwing different magic spells out here and there. It looks like a beautiful environment, a lot of quick movement, a lot of speed going on. But when I watched a gameplay footage of it, it almost looked a little basic to me. But who knows, maybe that could just be me. Maybe they were showing a pretty early on point in the game. I don't know. I have very high hopes for this game. I think it's going to be really cool. I couldn't be more excited for this game. I think this has the potential to be a huge hit. Usually Square Enix, you know, you got Final Fantasy, you got Avengers, you've got, you know, Kingdom Hearts. They're known for their convoluted anime-esque storylines, if you will. But frankly, this just looks like a really, really top-notch game. Girl in Fantasyland who has to fight dragons and scary monsters. I'm incredibly excited for it. And I think that this has the potential to be like, I don't know, man. We'll see. Like, this looks like it's got some game of the year production value on it. Like, it's up there for me. Like, I will be getting this game. I've got a pre-order. I might have already pre-ordered it, to be honest. I'm not sure, but it looks super cool. Like, she's got all these kinds of elemental. Right now, she's riding a skateboard across a river made of ice, like doing crazy jumps. They're fighting these crazy bear-looking enemies. It looks like very like triple A game type level, and I couldn't be more excited for it. I think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be immersive as fuck, and I really hope it I think it's going to take the PS5 and really, like, this is going to be what you think of when you think of next gen games. You know, I think this is a game that really is going to take what we know as a video game and sort of elevate it a little bit. I think this is really going to be that kind of in that first initial wave of games that are like, oh, you can only play these on like a PS5 or a Series X, a real next gen game. And I think this is going to be one of the first like really, really big ones because it's not really coming anywhere else. So, you know, we'll see what happens. She's got a tiny little cat when she's not in the magic place. And I love cats. So we'll see. We'll see. Lucas, you got any thoughts on this one? I know I just rambled quite a lot of it, but I'm pretty excited about this one, man.
Well, let me ask you, if you think Game of the Year type production, what is your OpenCritic score prediction?
Oh, I think this will get like a 91. That's my call right now.
Wow, that's I think that's the highest score of anything we've discussed.
I think I said God of War would get a 92, but like if I'm thinking realistically, would God of War probably win a game of the year over this? Yes. Do I think that's because it's a sequel? Yes. But if we're talking like purely new IP, like, this is up there. She's
Okay.
literally fighting dragons, bro. Like, this got me more hyped than Elden Ring does. Like, hands down, by far.
I just want to say, Skyrim, you can fight dragons. So, you know,
Yeah, but it's all this first person bullshit I don't care about.
it's how you get immersed.
Eh. I argue that's how
Um,
you implement clunky gameplay mechanics.
well, again, we can have this discussion at a later date, but that was a solid list. I liked not knowing your stuff ahead of time, so got to find out these games in the moment,
Yeah,
and
man. Yeah,
really
man.
really cool stuff.
Yeah, I agree. You got any quick honorable mentions you want to shout out before we kind of wrap it up a little bit?
Oh, uh, yes, just one. It's not even an honorable mention, really. I just saw in doing research for this episode. I saw that they're making a Quiet Place video game, and it's coming later this year.
I have also heard that. I don't know how that's gonna pan
I have
out.
no idea. There's not. That's the only info. Like, I'm on the official website, and it
It could
just
be
has the
cool.
name and coming 2022. Nothing on story, nothing on gameplay, but just something to keep an eye on. I just thought that was wild that is actually like confirmed happening.
It could be cool. Shout outs to a couple of games real quick that I personally don't actually think will drop this year. That looks super cool. Obviously Breath of the Wild 2. Don't think it's coming out this year, plain and simple, but that game's gonna kill it when it comes out. Also, Gotham Knights will be dope as fuck. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League also will be crazy fun and a game I definitely want to play with you, Lucas. Um, And whatever the hell Sonic Frontiers is, yes, please. Give me that. Whatever the heck it's gonna be. It looks dope from the small
Facts.
amount we've seen. But yeah, any other remaining games you want to shout out before we take this on home?
That's really it for me. I mean, I know there's some interesting ones like Dying Light 2 and the Saints Row reboot, but those weren't those didn't quite pique my interest as much as those other games. But
That's
again,
totally
those are definitely things I'll be keeping an eye on.
facts. Well, you've heard it here first, folks. These are Tom and Lucas's most anticipated games of 2022. Keep your eye on them. They'll definitely be big hits if you ask us.
Every single one.
Oh yeah, except Starfield, probably. We'll
That's
see.
pending. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. 2022 is a cool year. It's a new year. It's a great year for video games. I think the past two have been killing it. It's the one industry that's been absolutely dominating during the pandemic. So, I look forward to more of that in the future. But yeah, otherwise, keep it locked right here with us, folks. Keep it locked to our social feed as well. Again, Instagram is going to be the place to interact with us most. We'll be posting pretty much all our information there, like putting out YouTube links, whatever, this and that. I believe this is going to come out sometime next week. So we look forward for everybody to hear this and to watch this. And you've been served. Thank you so much. This is another episode of Game Chat with Tom and Lucas. Lucas, you got any final thoughts?
No hard feelings, Trevor. That's all.
All I'm saying is prioritize the game. Like, me and Lucas are here. We want to play with you. So stop fucking around, kid. But yeah, check back next time. We'll be weekly now. Once again, thank you to Bill You Mean and What Do You Mean Productions for helping produce and make this podcast what it is and what it is going to be. And we look forward to serving you guys up more pot pies full of content. So with that being said, I'm Tom.
I'm Lucas.
And we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.
Peace.